Brother, we need to talk. What I hold in my hand right here are my New Year's goals, my New Year's resolutions from January 2023. So 2 years ago at this point. And do you want to know what's the saddest thing about them? The saddest thing about them is that I didn't reach them, and it's been 2 years. Now in this video I want to reveal why I didn't achieve these goals for so long and how AI plays a big role in all of this. So this video is for you if you want to future-proof yourself against being replaced by AI, and more importantly, learn the skills that will be relevant in the future to thrive in the new environment that AI will create. So without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, we need to understand what AI even means. AI, so artificial intelligence, has its origin in the early cybernetics. And the first people to make me aware of this are Dan Coe and Maxwell Maltz, because Dan recently wrote a blog post about this exact topic. And now I want to connect his perspective with the main teachings of the book Psycho-Cybernetics, and which also play a determining role in all of this. So to take what they both explained, here's my version of it as far as I understand it. Cybernetics is an ancient Greek word and means helmsman, or another word for governor. And Maxwell also talked about this in his book and explained this topic, but the main idea, the whole idea of cybernetics was first brought to awareness by the American mathematician and philosopher Norbert Wiener. And they both talk about cybernetics as the idea of an automatic system which self-regulates itself and corrects course towards a goal. And the main insight that Wiener got and Wiener gained is that the whole world and how we understand and how we perceive the world is all based on information. It's that we make a move, we get feedback in the form of external information, and we self-regulate in order to course correct toward a goal. Let's take our body for example. If we are too cold, our body receives this information and the self-regulating system acts in a way that warms us up until we reach 37 degrees. But in the same way, if we take our body to a hot environment, we begin to sweat in order to cool down. It's our automatic self-correcting mechanism that acting toward the goal of maintaining our optimal body temperature for our organs to function properly. I believe you get my point. And now what happens if any given system loses this feedback loop, information and recalibration, is that it breaks down because it cannot figure out where to go and how to act in order to move toward a goal. Entropy sets in and takes over. I guess you already know what entropy means at this point, but entropy essentially describes the lack of order in a system and the gradual decline into chaos. Let's take a plane approaching the airport runway at night. The pilot uses his radio with the tower constantly to course correct and adapt his devices accordingly. If he goes too low, the pilot receives the information, the external feedback from his feedback loop, from the tower and even the plane itself to course correct and regulate his devices, and the same goes for if he goes too far left or too far right. You get the point. In order to reach any goal, we need to be in a constant feedback loop to course correct toward our goal. And a very interesting realization that Wiener made is that the danger is not in machines becoming more like humans, but humans being treated like machines. And this is where the circle closes. This is what AI is as we know it today. A cybernetic system that needs a governor, a master, that has generalist knowledge as to how to operate and how to assign a goal to it. AI is a specialist. It knows every single detail that we could think of. It has the whole internet at its fingertips. But it is a specialist still. A specialist that needs a generalist. Okay, but what's the problem then? If AI cannot be intelligent or better than a human being without our intelligence as a goal-instructing mechanism, what is the problem then? And that's the exact problem. Most people, myself included, have been trained to be a specialist from the day we were born. The day you got into primary school, heck even kindergarten, the teachers would ask you, and what job do you want to go into when you grow up? What field do you want to hyper-specialize in? What they never asked is, what are your interests and what do you think you can do with those interests? I know that this might be a bit too much for such a small young brain, but at least it would spark curiosity and it would spark thought towards creating instead of a job title as the goal. And then when we got into primary school and even high school, the question would come up every now and then, what do you want to go? What is your dream job? Yeah, right? But the education that we received there was very, very specialized. Read those exact books, memorize every single detail, because I'm going to test you on the upcoming test next week, and the grades that you will write on this test will show us whether you're intelligent or not. And if you failed the test and you couldn't remember every single detail, you were punished and labeled as dumb or unintelligent. Do you see anything wrong with this? I hope you do, because this is not real education, this is training. Training for what? Training to be a specialist, a machine that can only operate on a narrow set of tasks and actions in one field. And you need to understand this to follow along with the rest of Wiener's story and how it affects our goal setting as a whole. As I said, since the day we were born, we have been assigned goals, and we have an automatic self-regulating mechanism that corrects toward the goals that our parents wanted us to follow, because that's what they were told by their parents too. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, pay off debt, and have a family, retire at 65. And in the young years, the steps go to school and get a job meant nothing else than get good grades, save your money because money is evil and having too much is very difficult and dangerous, and listen to the authorities at all times. Never question their teachings, never question anything, just take it on with no critical thought whatsoever. They said, "You're young, what do you know of the world?" And before you know it, you're trapped in debt, trapped in responsibilities that rob you of your mental space, time and energy. And maybe there's even an occasional pull to change, but the conditioning, the programming is way too deep, and you just accept that your life is this way. Maybe I was born to be average and lived such a miserable life without any meaning or purpose and progress. But how do we escape this terrifying anti-vision? And to answer this question, we need to go back to the story. In the 1960s, a new perception of technology emerged by the invention of the computer. It was by inventing the computer that we had successfully externalized our minds, that we had all one singular mind, one infinite intelligence with all the potential information at our fingertips. Does this remind you of anything that we know today? Nope, you'll get it in a second. If I were to ask you at the beginning of this video to define cybernetics and to explain what it is, could you? Most likely not, right? That's because we don't hear much about it today. But why? You see, Wiener's colleagues didn't like the idea of a singular mind that everyone has access to, because they wanted to profit from it. So, John McCarthy refused to use the term cybernetics and instead called it artificial intelligence, which then made him a founding father in their field. Do you understand? The thing we're talking about all the time, the thing that we're so scared of that could and will replace most of the jobs that we know today, was cybernetics all the time. And although it took me quite a while to put this into words for you, I hope you now get my point and understand why I always talk about psychology in my videos. Everything is connected. It's the interconnectedness of the universe itself. When we look at making money, most of it is actually psychology. Why? Well, because we sell to other human beings, and we need other human beings to buy from us in order to make money. That means if you understand your own mind, then you can understand the minds of other people and their consumer behavior. I recently read the book Cashvertising by Drew Eric Wigman, and this is really just the best example for why psychology is such a dominating part of making money. This book, bro, from this first page to the last page, every single thing in this book tells you is the reason why psychology and why understanding the human mind is such a advantage, a competitive advantage. If you know how the consumer behavior works, if you know how people act and why people act with the basic human needs, the human nature, then you will make money. I highly recommend buying this book and reading this book at least 3 times, but I highly recommend. And to continue this video and talk about goal setting itself after this little excursion into the world of cybernetics, I want to talk about why most of us don't achieve the goals that we set out to achieve. Why we push back every day, we push them back every day and end up at the end of the new year having achieved absolutely nothing looking back. I just gave you my example. These are my goals for the January 2023, 2 years ago, and I didn't achieve any of them. I moved pretty close to them, but I didn't achieve them. And that's fucking sad. So, I want to start this with a quote by Dan. Guessing and correcting one's guess is how you accomplish anything you set your mind to. Psycho-cybernetics. This is how we learn, innovate, make progress, and understand almost anything in the universe. What Dan was trying to convey with this message is that we as humans, we can set our own goals, and we don't need to be assigned goals in order to make new discoveries in the unknown. And the way that we make those new discoveries and reach a meaningful goal is through the process of self-reflection, trial and error, and iteration. And this is the exact reason why I didn't achieve my goals that I set for myself for 2 years. I did not have the clarity as to where I was going. I had massive fear of failure and looking like a fool. And I always tried for people to tell me exactly what to do, not realizing that this was the exact reason for my failure. I never really sat down and defined a clear goal, a clear destination as to where I wanted to end up. I never knew where I was going and where I even wanted to go. I fell for the trap of consuming as much conceptual knowledge as I can, thinking that it's gonna move me toward and somehow help me to move towards my goal and to my goals that I didn't even set. So I consumed all this information, thinking that it will help me reach the goal that I didn't even set. So there's no way that I could achieve them. Now looking back, this sounds ridiculous, and I missed so many opportunities, but I cannot change the past. I can only learn from it and change my present moment and the actions that I put in right now to make my future more desirable. But what most of us get wrong about AI is that artificial intelligence is an incomplete system. An incomplete system that must be assigned a goal and that needs a master that operates it. But this is exactly what an employee is. An employee that isn't bad, but I believe that those people are in the most dangerous position for replacement by AI. And on that point, OpenAI just announced their new model called O3, which is an AGI, so Artificial General Intelligence. But I don't understand this fully myself yet, so if you want to check it out, I'm going to spare you with my clear explanation right now. But if you want to check it out, go to OpenAI's announcements or anywhere on the internet, you'll find it. Now to come back on how we can escape this mass replacement and what we can actually do about it. I've touched on this a few times throughout this video, but this is pretty much the main premise of my whole channel. It is to set your own goals, giving yourself permission to suck, giving yourself permission to do what you want, whatever you want, without caring about the judgment of other people, knowing that you need to realize yourself if things are good for you or if they're not. You can go out drinking, you can go out partying all night, sleeping around, hooking up, but if you don't realize that these things may not be the best ones for your future, this is what you need to realize. And you can go party, you can go whatever you want to do, but if you don't have anything more important that, for example, a desirable goal that you want to achieve, you won't recognize these things as dangerous or not important for your life and negative. So you need to have a goal, a vision, more importantly. I'm just going to talk about this in a second, but you need to have a vision that sets your perspective, that dictates how you perceive the situations, that dictates what is good and what is bad for you, your vision. And to conclude this whole video in a few simple sentences and actionable steps for you to implement right now and do right now, I'd say this: create your anti-vision and your vision, with the knowing that those are evolving as you do. Then, building a meaningful project along the way. For example, documenting your journey like I do, and then packaging the solutions you found on your way, packaging them up in valuable digital products. Next, identifying problems that prevent your progress toward your vision and away from your anti-vision. I'd recommend a mindfulness practice like meditation or journaling for this. And then going the trial and error way, learning as you build and share your learning lessons in public on the internet, like documenting your journey. But to be real with you, nobody can tell you exactly what to learn. Nobody can tell you exactly what to do in the future and what you need to do right now so that you're setting for the future. Nobody can tell you exactly what to do. And you need to realize this fact and to capitalize on this opportunity to create your own goals and become an undeniable, autonomous, undeniable individual. That means when people look at you, when people see you when you go outside, how you present yourself to the world, you are undeniable, you are a winner. And people sense it in the air. When you enter a room, people can sense it. It is the energy of a winner, undeniable individual, autonomous, undeniable individual. That's what we want. So that's it for today. If you want to have a Fill in the blank template for creating your entire vision, your vision and your goals. Within that vision, go click the first link in the description of this video. It's completely free and it will help you to gain clarity over what you want your future to look like and what the next step should be to get there. On that note, have a great day. Subscribe if you want to join me on this journey, like the video, all the fun stuff. See you in the next one. Create.